discussion is about how the Central Board of Film Certification and other regulatory authorities can look ahead in time and create a vision for creative communities, thus empowering audiences. Our moderator for the panel discussion is Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. Mr. Mahesh Bhatt is a prominent Indian film director, producer, and screenwriter. Mr. Bhatt's directorial career consists of acclaimed movies such as Arth, Saransh, Janam, Naam, Sadak, and Zakhm. Mr. Sudhir Mishra is an Indian film director and screenwriter known for directing critically acclaimed films like Hazaro Khwaishein Se, Dharavi, and Chameli. Mr. Ketan Mehta is an Indian film director. During his career, he has made many feature films, documentaries, and television serials. His repertoire of themes include comedy, satire, romance, violence, and rebellion. Mr. Mehta's first film, Bhavni Bhavai, a Gujarati film, won him acclaim. His movies have been selected for various international film festivals such as Nantes in France and Moscow Film Festival, where they have won numerous awards over the years. Mr. Amit Khanna is an acclaimed film and television producer, lyricist, actor, and writer. Mr. Khanna produced India's first English language series, A Mouthful of Sky, in 1995. He was awarded 1995 National Film Award for Best Lyrics for the song Kuch Is Tarah in the film Bhairavi, 1995, directed by Aruna Raje. He has been the chairman of Reliance Entertainment from 2000 to 2013. Ms. Anu Ranjan is the founder of the Indian Television Academy, ITA, in 2001, a groundbreaking and significant movement at the time which brought together and galvanized the entire television workforce in the country under one umbrella. The ITA subsequently launched the first ever totally TV-centric Indian Television Academy Awards to recognize and reward the excellence that was present on the canvas of Indian television. Ms. Bhavna Somaya is a noted film journalist, critic, author, and historian. Starting her career as a film reporter in 1978, she went to work with several film magazines through the 1980s and 1990s. Eventually, she remained editor of Screen, a leading film magazine from 2000 to 2007.
I made my first film in the year 1973, which was banned, called Manzile Aur Bhi Hain, and I was accused of subverting the sacred institution of marriage, because the story dealt with the narrative of two gangsters on the run and a prostitute. And even the film industry's self-appointed guardians, who were supposed to indulge in self-censorship, had banned my film because they found that I was an aberration. I couldn't understand on what basis they had done that, and I don't understand what's going on even now. But I think these are most unusual times, because I think that word called censorship should be hurled into the dustbin of history. But I know there are power centers who will do everything to rein you. The thought police does exist, and I wonder how we as filmmakers or content creators need to function and understand, and even perhaps play a more positive role of having a dialogue with those who are in the seat of power and enlighten them about what really bogs us down.
I have been a part of the advisory panel for 3-4 terms. Now, not that I am for censorship per se, but I really think that at the moment, particularly recent times, it is being completely misunderstood by everybody. Because first and foremost, whatever the guidelines are there, whatever happened, all it needed was some kind of a modification, but it is being interpreted in a completely wrong way. Number two, I don't think that the filmmakers are without power at all, because I would just like to quote two things. When we talk about self-regulation, I remember one of the producers said, ये तो custom जैसा है, किसी की पूरी पेटी सोने भर के निकल जाती है बड़ी बैनर्स की, और किसी का एक बिस्किट भी नहीं निकलता. It set me thinking that what is it, the anguish that he's saying it this way.
You know, the fact is that many of us, and I think most of us who sit here on this table, believe that in the 21st century, there is no role for something which is we call censorship, especially in the audiovisual medium. Technically, this was dropped 25 years ago when they changed the Central Board of Film Censors, was renamed as the Central Board of Film Certification. I suddenly discovered, as I was thinking about myself, censorship is a class issue. It started way back in civilization because it was the privileged, initially the clergy, and then the so-called literate elite who could dominate the rest of the people. The problem is not with the regulator. The problem lies with the people who govern. It has got nothing to do with one political ideology or thought. It is with people who wield power, and the fact that this is a demonstrative action of power in powerful intervention.
But it's a kind of a useless effort at the moment because, censorship is not merely from the government, the censorship is from the market. The censorship is also from me as a senior filmmaker and a junior filmmaker telling him I may have the power to stop him from making a certain film, but with the digital age, that's all over. So the only way censorship is possible is that some people don't have access to delivery.
That's
The
not
moment
possible.
people have access to delivery,
that's not possible.
where is
because
censorship?
I mean, you're right. I personally feel censorship is really an immoral exercise of power.
The Renaissance was for the privileged, right? Now the Renaissance has to be for all. And before the Renaissance always is the Dark Ages. So in democracy there will come a dark age where a lot of shit will float.
I have, Mahesh, but for a long time felt that what we really need, and I wish you push this, is that this is the body of the filmmakers, this is the center of certification. We need a cell in the middle, somebody who understands the censor way, how it functions, somebody who understands the mindset of the filmmakers, and who is there to be of pro-help to both.
Give it 5-10 years, this is all over.
It's all over.
The CEO who stops a film being made is over. I, as a senior filmmaker who's telling a 21-year-old, yaar tujhe nahi malum, that is over. The distributor is over. Everybody's over. So what are we fighting? I mean, this whole body is over. And why should anyone be sitting around, deciding what's correct?
Television mein everything that is shown over there, whether you call it censored, right, wrong, correct, we don't know, but it is shown as it should be shown. Abhi ek picture thi Dolly. I'll give an example of Dolly Ki Dolly. I went to see it, and Sonam Kapoor is in the movie. She marries one guy, and on the first night before anything, she pilaus him doodh, and that's the end of it. She runs away. Second one ko doodh pila ke bhag jati hai. तीसरा वाला को दूध पिलाने से पहले पता नहीं जो भी पकड़ी जाती है. So the other two are sitting there and they're sitting and talking. अच्छा बता यार, तूने उसकी ली. Now excuse me, that should have been bloody censored. It was in no damn context with the rest of the movie. What do you mean तुमने उसकी ली? अरे ली होती तो पैसा फिर वसूल होता ना कि वो लेके भागे. What shit is this? That is censorship. It was past. I don't understand why nobody made a noise. Now if you see the other movies like Grand Masti, the whole movie is in that tone, so fair enough, we accept it. Because that is what you've gone to see.
You have to take a side this way or that way. Can I please take the position that I don't like this, but I don't want it banned? I mean, I have can't we all understand that I may not like something, but does that mean it should be banned?
So I think as long as there's a censor inside of me, there will be a censor outside. So it is the individual will draw the Lakshman.
I'll tell you the difference.
The question is, who's that individual? Who's that enlightened, wise, sagacious individual? We believe the state has the kind of an apparatus which it can put together a group of people.
If it's a right person as an INB minister, right person, we have a right, appropriate person as a censor board chairman. He should, if I was the chairperson, I would study my guidelines 3, 4, 5 times. After that, I would call a meeting of all the filmmakers and the writers, and I would say that I agree with this and I don't agree with this. What do you think? And it should be a free-for-all discussion. And then we have that cell thing which you were a part of. At that time, it was not acceptable. Today, times have changed. We appoint a cell. Then those things are taken by the chairperson and goes to the INB ministry with a representation. and we have to negotiate with them and say, okay, these 5 things we will listen about your guidelines, and these are the 20 things which we will not listen. This is creativity, and we are going to do it our way, and uska baap bhi manega.
I mean, personal position is censorship is invalid. It's no longer valid, it's no longer effective, it's no longer enforceable.
To end the debate, Mahesh, even unity in the film fraternity, like everywhere, is quite inconsistent. यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि मेरी छत अगर टूट रही है तो मैं आवाज़ उठाऊंगी, तो सब लोग अपनी अपनी फिल्म को फटाफट निकालते हैं और बोलते हैं कि बाद में जुलूस निकालेंगे.
I'm getting this feeling of deja vu. Suddenly I find that the clock has been turned back 40 years. I was exactly on a platform like this, and there were senior people, and we were sitting down there for answers. And what is the truth is that we are still groping for answers, but as long as we can retain the sense of humor and also be predisposed to find a solution, maybe we can possibly find an answer. But the urgent need is for us to prevail upon the government, is that the landscape has changed, the world has changed, and your attempt to retain this illusion of control is bogus. Yet, we understand that you will not let go of your control of the driving seat. You would want to have an illusion of control. By all means do it, but establish some kind of a dialogue with the content creators. But then, Amit says, that has been done before. Who is that ideal person who will represent a kind of an enlightened, liberal, yet sane view? The search is for that individual. Let's look for him. No, I'm not. I'm singularly incapable. I disqualify myself even before you suggested. Thank you.
All of it.